Sixth World Conference. Senate President Godswill Akpabio sues for parliamentarians' commitment to peace and justice. Emotional scene as Pengasan stretched helping hands to patients, pays medical bills in 2 hospitals. Governor Dodo launches conditional cash transfer program for adolescent girls in Kogi State. Hello and welcome to the news desk at 6 on NTA News24. Thanks for joining us. My name is Stella Inamiti. Now details of the news. Vice President Kashim Shettima has called on global stakeholders to deepen cooperation with Nigeria in rebuilding sustainable and inclusive food systems across Africa. He made a call during a panel on country perspectives, government-led strategies and regional frameworks during the UN Food Systems Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Nigeria has designed a comprehensive strategy to address food security challenges, which mostly impact vulnerable citizens in conflict-affected regions. Vice President Kashim Shettima said President Tinubu's bold national strategy, including the declaration of a state of emergency on food security and the rollout of systemic reforms, was aimed at transforming agriculture into a resilient, youth-driven, market-based engine of economic growth.
Our agriculture should be market-driven, not about handouts. And the whole mantra is an increase in yield, because entrepreneurial capitalism is embedded in the very psyche of the average Nigerian. But what they are lacking is the wherewithal to place them on Jeffrey Sachs' pace ladder of development. And the whole mantra is on increase in yield.
Meanwhile, on the margins of the summit, Vice President Kashim Shettima held a high-level bilateral meetings with top executives of key global food and development agencies, including the Director General of the Food and Agriculture Organization, President of the International Fund for Agricultural Development, and the Executive Director of the World Food Programme. He sought the organization's partnership in reviving the Lake Chad region, enhancing all-year farming, and supporting the Green Revolution project of the federal government. The organizations pledged continued commitment to work with the Nigerian government in all areas needed, such as school feeding, nutrition, and support for displaced communities. Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has called on parliamentarians all over the world to stand in partnership and commit to peace, justice, and shared destiny. He stated this in his remarks at the ongoing 6th World Conference of Speakers of Parliaments hosted by the Interparliamentary Union IPU in collaboration with the United Nations, Geneva, Switzerland, with the theme, A World in Turmoil, Multilateralism for Peace, Justice and Prosperity for All. Akpabio noted that the world, now being a global village and nations face armed conflict, climate disruption and youth disillusionment, parliaments should legislate to secure the future. He made reference to the partnership in Nigeria between the executive and legislature, which facilitates passage of laws to confront insecurity and rebuild trust, citing the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons Act, the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act, and the Out-of-School Children Education Act as some of outcomes of the collaboration. On multilateralism, Akpabio stressed that it must not become a rhetoric, as Nigerian Parliament believes in international solidarity and shared responsibility. He urged parliamentarians to commit to collaboration and the courageous pursuit of solutions that transcend borders and partisan divides. The The Northern Senators Forum has expressed deepest condolences to the people of Zamfara State, particularly the families of the victims who lost their lives in the recent kidnapping incident in Kaura Namoda local government area and killing of at least 35 innocent civilians, despite ransom payments. In a statement, Chairman of the Forum, Senator Abdulaziz Yaradua, condemns the heinous act, adding that the Forum stands in solidarity with the people of Zamfara State during this difficult time and prayed that Allah grants the departed souls eternal rest. The Forum urged security agencies to collaborate with local vigilantes to ensure that those responsible for these atrocities are brought to justice, and called for proactive outreach in response to security threats and intelligence sharing. It also commended efforts of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his continued support to the security agencies, including funding and recent mass recruitment. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria say the ongoing tariff reform in Nigeria's electricity sector is primarily aimed at reducing financial risk within the power ecosystem. According to them, Enugu Electricity Regulatory Commission's decision to slash the Band A tariff from 209 naira to 160 naira per kilowatt hour could actually increase market exposure to risk. They caution that such moves, if not carefully managed, could lead to a liquidity crisis in the sector. Alika Okpanachi Arua reports.
Responding to the concerns, former chairman of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, Dr. Sam Amadi, insisted that Enugu State acted within its constitutional rights. He explained that the new 160 naira tariff is part of a broader cost-reflective strategy designed to make electricity more affordable for consumers and attract investors to the states.
Enugu Disco has to fashion its distribution regulation within what the so-called main power, or whatever they call it, now offers.
In reality, the consumers even want electricity tariff, as I speak here, to be 15 naira. But the truth of the matter is that we are running a federation where federal government through the NNPC have fixed the pump price, like I was trying to say, of petroleum products.
While commending the Enugu Electricity Regulatory Commission for its bold stance, the guests urged the federal government to make it easier to import renewable energy equipment. This will allow more Nigerians to switch off the national grid and lower the cost of electricity while also easing the financial burden on governments.
Let me correct an impression. The issue of Band A is not arbitrary. It's not just something that just came out of nowhere. It is because of the fact that the regulator, in conjunction with federal government, was trying to reduce the burden of subsidy.
It's not a good time to start exposing the system to this kind of risks. I think the system, especially the state market itself, is not ripe enough.
On the matter of metering, the guest emphasized that settling outstanding debts in the sector is crucial, both for improving revenue and sustaining electricity generation. In Abuja, Alika Okpanachi, Arua, NTA News.
The governor of Kogi State, Ahmed Usman Ododo, has commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for showing unparalleled commitment towards the completion of the Abuja-Lokoja Road reconstruction, saying his action has demonstrated his unwavering determination to fix the nation's infrastructure deficit. The governor, who made this known while inspecting a section of the road at Kotonkarfe in Kogi State, said the president represents a coalition of excellence. This is our own coalition. This is what our president is doing, and we are grateful to him. This is development, he said.
This was a road. A minister in this country, a judge, want to be economically viable. And today, we thank God, Mr. President solidly and the minister is in with him that this road is economically very good as far as this country is concerned, because this is the only road that connects the north and south. This is one of the coalition. Yes.
Also commended the Works Minister David Umahi for the quality of job on the road. A delegation of the Tinubu National Solidarity Movement has reassured of its support for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, urging Nigerians to rally behind the administration's policy reforms aimed at repositioning the country for sustainable development. During a courtesy visit to the management of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, the leader of the delegation, Mohammed Akwashiki, emphasized that the current administration is making bold, intentional moves to address long-standing structural challenges facing the nation. The group noted that the renewed hope agenda is anchored on critical pillars including economic revitalization, infrastructure development, and institutional accountability. According to the delegation, these policy directions are already taking shape through targeted reforms in areas such as exchange rate unification, tax reforms, and public sector efficiency. Dennis Temple reports that the group also commended the Nigerian Television Authority for maintaining professionalism in its coverage and for playing a vital role in informing the public about national issues. As First Lady Oluremi Tinubu wants parents to teach their children the importance of kindness and compassion, noting that through friendship, a united and more peaceful world can be built. This is in her statement marking this year's International Day of Friendship. The day, she says, is a reminder of the bonds that unite people across cultures, religions, traditions, borders, and backgrounds, while noting that we live in a world often divided by conflicts and misunderstandings. The First Lady urges Nigerians to embrace empathy, celebrate diversity, and promote harmony in various communities. At the government citizen engagement in Kaduna, the Sir Amadu Bello Memorial Foundation passed a vote of confidence in Tinubu administration.
From the guest speakers, we've heard from the security people in charge of security, the National Security Advisor, the Ministers of Defense, the service chiefs. All of them are here, those of them from this part of the country, to tell Nigerians, especially those in the northern part of the country, what is it that government has been doing for them. And this has been a very robust conversation. Questions were asked, comments were made, and then answers were given. Today again we have continued with economy and governance. There has been a big part of what government has been doing in the last 2 years. Our economy is indeed growing. Of course, we've had challenges at the beginning. There was the issue of the source subsidy that was removed, that created some form of challenges for the people of Nigeria, which the President and all of us have acknowledged. There was also the unification of the Naira. Two big reforms that the government has instituted. Now, these reforms, as good as they are, there was some little issues here and there. But we thank God, we are beginning to turn the corner now. Our debts are being paid. The federal government and the state governments are getting more money to invest in infrastructure for the people, health, education, all sectors. Now we are here. We have been told again that all the reforms are taking place so much. I think people are so excited here.
This is the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. More reports after this break.
The Baffy Furniture Shopping Festival is here from June 15th to August 15th. Enjoy 20%, 30%, up to 50% off on most products. Explore 2025 exclusive collections at discounted prices, plus wedding packages with a free TV stand gift. Plus, free delivery and installation in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Enugu. Customize your favorite sets in your preferred color and fabric, from kid kid-friendly options to our luxurious smart beds. Don't miss out. Shop now at Baffy Furniture.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. It was an emotional scene at the Karshi and Buhari General Hospitals as patients and caregivers expressed deep relief when the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASAN, through its foundation, visited the facilities, paid off patients' medical bills, and donated funds to support the hospitals. Joseph Hossein reports that the primary beneficiaries were critical cases involving patients who could not afford the cost of treatment.
Benjamin Musa is perhaps the happiest father right now. Just a moment earlier, he was preparing to leave the Buhari General Hospital in despair. His pregnant wife needed an emergency operation, but he couldn't afford the bill.
I told them to give me some time. Let's see how it goes. If she can't put to bed. On my way going, they call me back, saying there's people that are ready to help and do everything for me and my wife.
Musa's family is just one of about 30 beneficiaries of the humanitarian intervention by PENGASAN Foundation.
We came here and I noticed that she was not breathing normal.
It's the BP just go up.
Officials from the Oil and Gas Workers Union visited the Karshi and Buhari hospitals, engaging directly with patients and caregivers to identify those in critical need of support, and paid over 5.7 million naira in bills and provided additional financial support to the facilities.
A lot of rural patients, rural women and children and all that. When they come, they don't even have the resources to pay.
And we'll make sure by God's grace, we'll follow it up. All those people will be clear and they will be discharged.
We have even other general hospitals we have set aside to visit and do similar thing like this so that we can reach out to Nigerians.
PENGASAN says the next stop is Benue State, where similar assistance will be extended to hospitals and internally displaced persons camps, bringing renewed hope to many in desperate need. In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
Still on health, a pivotal moment in Africa's healthcare history unfolded as the Brain and Spine Foundation Africa, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, hosted the inaugural Africa Neurological Health Summit 2025. This groundbreaking event brought together global leaders, policymakers, and healthcare experts to address the growing burden of neurological disorders in sub-Saharan Africa. Shehu Mohammed Dati reports.
The maiden edition of the African Neurological Healthcare Summit aims to transform the treatment of neurological conditions across the continent, where millions suffer from stroke, brain tumor, and other related diseases. The summit also seeks to improve the lives of millions affected by these conditions.
Many of these conditions strike with little warning, but leave lifelong consequences. They do not just affect individuals, they shatter dreams, disrupt lives.
And that's why we must make effort to make sure that when these things happen, we can help to save life.
So WHO is fully committed to supporting Nigeria in its effort toward preventing, managing neurological disorders. So we would like to wish you a fruitful discussion, and then we are also looking forward to see the great consensus and recommendation that we can work together.
Key among the summit's objectives is to promote data-driven decision-making and knowledge exchange, creating a multi-stakeholder platform for engagement amongst policymakers, healthcare professionals, researchers, development partners, and people affected by neurological disorders.
Challenge us all to do better, hold us accountable so that together we can objectively map the 10-year trajectory that actualizes WHO IGAP's vision for epilepsy and other neurological disorders.
We are counting on this summit to come up with actionable points toward revolutionizing the prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation of neurological conditions in Nigeria and in Africa.
It is not one area of specialty that we will say we want to manage brain injuries. A lot of disciplines will have to come into play.
With the theme, policy and advocacy in neurological healthcare in Africa, bridging the gap towards achieving WHO Intersectoral Global Action Plan Goals 2031, speakers advocated for proactive measures by governments and other stakeholders towards addressing the scourge. In Abuja, Show Muhammad Detti, NTA News.
Kogi State Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo has launched the Conditional Cash Transfer Program for Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment in Kogi State. Ajibola Christopher reports that 30,000 female students across secondary schools in Kogi State are beneficiaries.
More than 30,000 students cutting across selected secondary schools in Kogi State are benefiting from the conditional cash transfer under the Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment project. The governor described the Agile project as a commitment towards ensuring that every child has access to safe and quality education. He further noted that the Agile conditional cash transfer is more than financial support, as it represents a long-term investment in human capital development designed to enhance school enrollment, retention, and transition for adolescent girls.
In addition to this initiative, I have approved and paid over 1.3 billion to cover examination fees for students in all public schools across the state for WIAC, JAMB, NATED, mock, and common entrance.
The Agile State Project Coordinator, Ahmed Tijani Richa, emphasized that the project aims to remove both financial and socio-cultural barriers that present adolescent girls from staying in school. He noted that the second cohort of the conditional cash transfer is in progress, and every girl's child who has 75% attendance in schools is eligible to be selected. Fatima Zara Salauddin, who spoke on behalf of over 30,000 beneficiaries, expressed heartfelt appreciation to Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo and all stakeholders for the opportunity given to female students. The Agile project is a flagship program of the Federal Ministry of Education supported by the World Bank, aimed at improving secondary education opportunities for adolescent girls in participating states. Ajibola Christopher, NTA News.
The acting executive chairman of the Federal Character Commission, Kayode Oladile, has pledged the Commission's commitment to working closely with the Police Service Commission to ensure adherence to federal character principles in the upcoming Nigeria Police Force recruitment. Oladile made this assurance during a strategic meeting with the chairman of the Police Service Commission, DIG Hashimu Agungu, retired, on preparations for the recruitment exercise. In his remarks, DIG Agungu emphasized the importance of equitable representation, appealing for the FCC's collaboration to guarantee that all states and demographic groups are fairly represented in the recruitment process.
Our great country is not only a constitutional mandate, but a practical strategy to ensuring peace, security, and social harmony. When communities see themselves represented in the security agencies that serve them, trust is built, cooperation is enhanced.
In line with the international role, where we drive our own human recruitment and promotions based on bakers, if that is something. So you can't come and tell me you are taking application under the table, you keep. You wanted to call your brothers and sisters. You didn't inform the original of Nigeria. It's corruption.
That concludes the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Stella Inameti.